Woo-wee! Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. Today is Sunday, Helios Deity Day. Sunday, September 18th, 2022. And the time is 2:05 Central. Y'all ready to have a good fucking time? Fuck yeah. Let's get it. Today, brothers and sisters, we want to talk about frequent intense teaching. As you may or may not have noticed, the teaching, the energy has elevated. So the teaching brings about thinking, which brings about training, which assists with the talking, the telling, the talent, the tenacity, and the time. So we want to talk about these 7 T's today, because this establishes systems that allows you to automate, that you are able to then delegate or duplicate. Once you establish the system, then it's fucking downhill. Then you can kick back and sip your pina coladas at the beach. Excuse me, at the poolside, which is what we are talking about on the 19th. Because you are establishing your biological field. You activate the crystal cathedral. You are able now to connect with source. And that, my brothers and sisters, is the game. That is light out, case closed. So now you have focus. Regardless of the problem. Problems exist. But you don't give a fuck. Why? Because you're thinking. But the reason that you're thinking is because teaching. But it has to be frequent. It has to be intense. That's why the teachings are frequently, and they are very intense. And if you've been listening to me, you've been noticing the intensity. You've been noticing that the F-bombs, you've been noticing the animation has increased. And the reason for that is because the game, the cost to be the boss has increased. So now you cannot go out into the world with a low, mammy, wishy, weak, jelly-back, hair up in the bun, skinny jean wearing disposition. Get your ass smoked. Because we're living in a day and age, I don't know if you know or aware of it, I don't know where y'all been. I don't know who you've been talking to, who you've been hanging out with, but these good old boys, they trying to get rid of the middle class. They're doing a damn good job. So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Choose ye this day. So I highly recommend that you get on board with the accelerator of exponential results. So the day of playing church is over. Discipline equals freedom. So you got to build self before team. That's where the teachings come in. So on the 19th, mañana, we start the process of giving you these more intense thinking. And the intense thinking activates the magnetite inside of the brain, or the gate of God. So the gate of God, which we've been talking about all last 2 weeks, this is the biological control grid. All of the ancients understood the Holy Grail was inside of the body. So they put it inside of architecture because that's the path of enlightenment. So all sacred buildings, all churches, all cathedrals, they have a layout. If you put the brain on top of it, all of the modern churches, especially when I say modern, I mean old. Remember, the United States is not that old. The United States has only been around for like 200 years. I'm talking about buildings that have been around for thousands of years. All of the old buildings with these circular doorways, if you look at the doors in America, they're flat. Mojos, the reason that the doors are arched, a mojo, a jinn, a sprite, demons can't hide. They can only hide on linear. They can't hide on circular or circular. You would never find a flat door in a cathedral. They're all a arch for archon. They are the originals. So a lower level bregma, B-R-E-G-M-A, they live in the center of the brain because they control the crown chakra on the head of the bindu, B-I-N-D-U. So unfortunately, your thinking is fucked up. Not you personally, of course, but because why? Well, no frequent intense teaching. So therefore, there's no frequent intense thinking, which results in no frequent intense talking, telling, talent, training, tenacity, or time. Everything is just watered down. So how come it's watered down, Doc? Even if there are some people who can't stand frequent intense teaching, they got to get the fuck out. Why? The shit's too intense and it's too frequent. It's crazy because even there is a thinning of the herd, if you will. And I understand it because, hey, shit happens, as they say. Your job is understanding why there's this feeling. Well, the feeling that you're having comes from the lack of focus on yourself. It's difficult for people to turn off social media and just sit in a room by themselves and think and be with their own thoughts positively. Now, it's easy to do it negatively because you're not by yourself. There's all the demons in your head. So it's real easy to sit in a room and say, fuck it. Shit's fucked up. That's easy to do. It doesn't require no effort, no energy. Shit, you just say, you're sitting there by yourself. You think about the problem. You say, shit, fuck it. And you just, whatever happens, happens. You don't give a shit. Why? Shit, anybody can do that. It doesn't require no energy. It doesn't require no effort, no focus, no discipline, no order. There's no thinking. There's no training. There's no amplification of your talent. There's no tenacity. There's no time required. It's just you along with your demons, and y'all amp each other because the demon's job is to get you to continue to deflate, to continue to spew negativity. That's their job. Their job is to get you to attack yourself and everyone else. So the demons are good at what they do. Fortunately, I'm better because I have frequent, intense teaching. So my teachings are frequent and they are very intense. Why are your teachings frequent, Doc? Why are your teachings so intense? Well, I want you to think. Well, why do you want me to think? Because I want you to talk. Why I want you to talk? Why I want you to tell? Why I want you to tell? I want you to tell a story about your talent. Why do I want you to tell a story about your talent? So that way I can establish tenacity. So that way I can take back time. So if you understand the 7 keys, you guarantee to shine. But we got a conundrum. People don't like intensity. Why come people don't like intensity? Well, the word intensity means intense. So we got a conundrum. The word tense, because there's past tense, there's present tense, there's future tense. So my question to you today, my anointed brother, my beautiful educated sister, is what tense you're in. Now remember, the $1 billion question is, or concern is, right now, I don't give a fuck what's going on in your life. You do, I don't. Well, Doc, how come you don't give a fuck about me, man? I think you should, bro. You should be concerned. Well, I'm a retired carer. I used to care, now I don't fucking care anymore. Why? Well, you are God. So, if you're God, you can generate, operate, and direct just like me. So why would I stop my frequent intense teaching, my frequent intense thinking, my frequent intense talking, my frequent intense training, my frequent intense telling, my frequent intense talent, my frequent intense tenacity, my frequent intense time? Why would I stop my design? When I know that the enemy knows that if you have a system that you can automate, duplicate, and delegate, you're God or goddess. So the bad guy cannot allow you to focus on feeling. I like to sprinkle in the word fabulous. Because if you do that, you create a biofield, which is what we're talking about tomorrow. So the more I'm explaining the biology that was taught in Egypt before the dominant culture took over and took away structure, geometrical waves, because a pyramid creates a wave. Ley lines create a wave. We call it energy. So let me make you understand, because I don't know if you really understood what I just said, because we're talking about lack of tense. See, you either future tense or you're past tense, but you're not present tense, because there's no intense, there's no intensity. So when you talk, it's like, well, I pray, I hope, I wish, I ponder my brother, but Jesus is going to come through for me, homie. Get the fuck out of here with that. I mean, not you personally, but you know. So the intensity, my intensity is off the chain now. That's why there's a thinning of the herd. That means a lot of you people, unfortunately or fortunately, you're not going to be around. No, you're going to fight, you're going to try, and you're going to feel bad. Because she's like, well, see, Doc, man, I like you, brother. But your distractions is going to cause an action. You can't go with me to the mountain. Everybody can't go to the promised land. Everybody can go, but let me phrase that. Flies don't like honey. Flies are not designed for honey. You will find that your design is going to cause you to decline. There are some people who choose not to use epigenetics to elevate their design. So you could be like me, designed to fly. I used to love shit, because flies like shit. Now I like honey, because I used epigenetics. I used frequent, intense teaching, thinking, training, talking, telling, talent, tenacity, and time to change my design. Now, I'm teaching on the 19th for you to do that, but you got distractions. Distractions cause an action. Every time there's a teaching, there will always be traction. Demons ain't stupid. Do you honestly think they know faith comes by hearing? They think, oh, you just fucking walk in here and just sit down and listen? Fuck no. Shit ain't happening, bro. Tires gonna grow flat. Kids gonna act the fuck up. Parents gonna call you. Your friend and me gonna call you. The dog gonna bite you in the ass. Something's gonna happen, bro. You cannot continue to listen to frequent, intense teaching. Fucks the brain up. Why? She gets results. The devil is not stupid, man. Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop playing. He's just gonna let you just, well, I wanna be a millionaire. He just gonna fucking give you $1 million? Come on, man. Y'all been around longer than that, bruh. Let's stop playing church. Whether it's me or it doesn't matter. Anybody who knows the same thing that the 1% knows, they're not going to just allow you to just walk in, sit at the fucking table and have a seat. It's not going to happen. Something's going to come up. Because teaching can't be present tense and frequent. Because what it does to the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus, the crystal cathedral is activated if it's frequent, intense teaching. So the dominant culture knows that shit. That's why they keep the telly on. I need the telly. I need you to watch the telly, bro. Or I need you to swipey, TikTok. 3 seconds. That's it. The average attention span, 3 seconds. That's fucking crazy to me. 3 seconds, bro. That's all you got. So I know, shit, I do shows an hour and a half. No, fuck, you go listen to an hour and a half, you can 3 seconds, that's it. So the enemy knows that I teach systems. I create systems and I duplicate systems, period. Now you should be asking me the $1 billion questions that I'll be breaking down tomorrow. Now what's the $1 billion question? Well, I've been telling you the $1 billion question for 20 years. Now, I keep telling you because the knowledge is free, but implementation is not. So you give away knowledge, but you charge for implementation. So tomorrow I teach you how to implement what you have documented. How to implement documents. So you implement documents. Number one. What is the system got? See, the reason why I don't fuck about the economy, gas prices, food prices, is because it's like Joe Bezos, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, all the good old boys, they got systems. But they don't give a fuck about the economy. Why? They got a system. Now, I gave you my system already, especially when it comes to generating capital by using income and credit combined. So that way, when the income is not coming in, no problem, you got the credit. When the credit is not needed, you don't use it, you use the income. So you build it. So that means you got a system in place. But the system can only be activated by frequent intense training. That comes from frequent intense thinking. That comes from frequent intense teaching. So that way you will have, by universal, you cannot have frequent intense talking. That's why I know that you got distractions. Because remember, the only way that you're not doing what I'm doing, because remember, perfection must be expressed. Let me say this again. Be ye perfect, for I am perfect. Boy, the devil is good, man. The devil is good. When I say devil, I mean I'm talking about you, boo-boo. Yeah, you good. The lower you, the reptile, is saying, fuck you to the higher, the crown chakra, the crystal cathedral. So remember, we're going to break it down. MASSAINTERMEDIA. Now, I just got a thing contact this morning by YouTube. A video on my YouTube page really talking about wealth and health. 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, was removed for violating medical community standards. The video been up for 4 years. Why now? Somebody's not thinking. See, if you're not frequently, intensely being taught by yourself or your vibrational brother or sister like me, we're vibrational brothers and sisters. That just simply means we got the same vibration. Your vibration, like my vibration, is wealth, health, wisdom, and great relationships. Your vibrations, like mine, is love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control. You're not here to hurt, harm, or defraud anybody. You're here because, like me, whatever source code has for me, it's for me. That's it. So you're not here because you want to try to steal somebody else's shit. You're not here because you are afraid somebody's trying to steal your shit. If this is the wrong call. So people say, man, people like to do shit in secret. I fucking tell everybody before I fucking do it. Because nobody can fucking stop me. So if you ain't got that fucking disposition, you're in fucking trouble. Why? You're scared. Never invest scared energy. Never hang out with a scared nickel. You will get your ass killed. You never go to war with a scared mother. Some of y'all scared. You got concerns. You have no specific end result. I got one specific end result. So my bioplasma in my body, the magnet types in my blood is activated. So I'm in a disposition where I don't give a fuck. That's a dangerous man. That means the shit has to unfold for me, like it's been doing. Why? I'm gonna fucking find a way. So my biofield energy management, I'm managing not to flow dollar. So I am out from underneath the death cult because geometric shapes create geometric waves. You have the wrong geometric shapes. Now, what are the wrong geometric shapes? Well, we call them letters. Well, letters are fetters. They're chains. They're frequencies. They're waves. They're verbs. They're vibes. You got the wrong one, boo-boo. See, in your head, there's a little voice in your head that's saying, nah, he's gone too far, man. It's just that this is not, I've been trying, and there's a little voice and you fighting to try to make it to the shows. Not you personally, but you know. Because it's not the frequency and the intensity for the teachings is not there. It's okay because you got to remember, flies are designed differently than bees. Buzzards are designed by God different from eagles. Buzzards, they don't hunt nor kill. I learned that from the original 33. Y'all don't know the original 33. Dr. Martinet, you remember Dr. Martinet knows the original 33. Who was the first running back for the Dallas Cowboys that wore the number 33? I met him in Las Vegas. And I was hanging out with Dr. Martinet. Shit, damn, Dr. Martinet, how long has it been? It's been a while. It was like back in 2015 or 16 or something. Dr. Martinet, I'm telling you, it's time for us. I'm going back to Vegas, Dr. Martinet. We need to do another seminar in Vegas. You see, brothers and sisters, Vegas is a city in the desert. How the fuck do you get a city in the desert? Dr. Martinet, what grows in Vegas? You know, they say what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. Why is that, Dr. Martinet? Could you share with the group? What the fuck is it about Davis? Vegas. So I remember when we were sitting there in Vegas. We was out right outside of Vegas, in fact. And I was talking to the original 33. That's the first time I heard the phrase. He was explaining to me why you don't see him in none of the Dallas Cowboys pictures. I've never seen him. They talk about Dorsett. They talk about Calvin Hill. They talk about Emmitt Smith. They talk about the current Ezekiel. They got the Club 88. Remember, they talk about Drew Pearson, 88. My boy Des Brown, 88. Now they got the young buck. I forgot his name. He's wearing 88. What about the original 33? You know why they didn't like the original 33? Because the nigga had a mind of his own. You know what he said? I'm gonna do what I fucking want. White boys don't like when black boys say that shit. You're supposed to stick your ass on a plantation, nigga. Shut up and take orders. That's why you're broke. Not you personally, but you know. Now, they came across, because the original 33, you don't see none of his memorabilia up in Jerryland. Why? The white man tried to erase his ass from history. The same with TikTok and YouTube, they try to erase. I noticed that they go after all my old stuff. I can put up anything on TikTok, on YouTube, nothing happens. A year, 2 years later, that video is flagged for violating community health. It's always health or medical standards. How come it didn't violate it 3 years ago? I need y'all to understand. All my clients that I get, they Google shit and my old videos pop up. So the algorithm is seeing and noticing, hey, this nigga is having an impact on changing people's thinking, not with the current shit, but the stuff that people are searching for. I already answered the question 20 years ago. So all my old content that has the answers to every question you got in your head, that's the reason why you can't, not you personally, but it's hard for you to get to these shows and to tune in and to listen because my shit is frequent and it's intense. Because it brings about and it establishes cisterns in the brain, like it is in Jeremiah chapter 29. You got a broken cistern. Not you personally, but your cistern can't hold you. Remember, my name is Bethesda in Hebrew, which means builder of cisterns that holds water. The Shekinah glory of God. Your sister is broke, bruh. Not you personally, but people you know. So you can't hang out with a nigga like me. Like, I'm gonna fix that shit. Or you gonna get the fuck out. It's crazy to me because when I think about I'm using with elders and uplining, people like my boy, the original 33, Dwayne Thomas. And Dr. Martinez just said the highest and lowest vibrations are available in living colors. Dwayne Thomas went up against the establishment and demanded a higher pay for the players. He's the reason why the current players get paid the big bucks today. So I was sitting in Vegas talking to Dwayne Thomas, and all of the, like Dr. Martinez just said, all the current players eat today because of the sacrifice made by Dwayne Thomas. I guarantee you, if you ask Ezekiel Elliott on some of the current players who got these big salaries, because they weren't playing black players, nothing, even though the team was full of black people. But the white man was making all the money off the back of the nuke. Still do. Let's not get it twisted. And shit changed. So just like the original 33, I know my shit's going to get deleted. Even this message, I'll post this message, I'll post it on YouTube. It'll take a month or so, a year, 2 years before the algorithm picks up on, because most of my messages are in the code. I talk in circles. I don't know if y'all catch that or not. Because I'll spell certain words, I'll say certain words, I'll say gate of God, I'll say massa, intermedia, and certain things. That's why all my messages get flagged for medical. Because I'm saying biblical shit in medical terminology. The white man don't like that shit. Because that fucking frees your ass from your vibe, from your fucking spiritual prison. Because as long as I quote scriptures, the white man don't give a fuck. Because he wrote the scriptures. But he didn't like the Bible. Source did. So if I start talking biology, get a rope. Why? Negroes love to argue. Everybody on this call. I've said something that I know you don't like already. And you barely hanging on. You think you're damn shit. I didn't want to come to the call anyway. Not everybody, but a couple of you guys. What's the point? Well, shit, that's things people say to me I don't like either. But if it changes, like I keep telling y'all, I will go to a KKK rally, risk my life if they're dropping frequent intent to put money in my pocket, to keep my heart pumping blood, my black ass healthy, make sure that my neurons in my brain is working, so I don't get conned from some Negro with a clever marketing campaign, and so I can have a relationship with myself, with my God, and with others. I can live in peace and harmony with my fellow man. If the KKK is the only people on the planet that got that system, I'm going to a KKK rally. I'm going to put on me, especially nowadays, I'm going to put on me some white makeup so I can camouflage myself, but I don't want to go in and just get lit up. So I'm going to sit in the back, try to blend in so I can get to gnosis. So what you said, I'm willing to do anything legally. I'm not going to say morally anymore. I'm not a moral person. But causality calls. Just like Dwayne Thomas did. He sacrificed his well-being for the sake of, hey, it's not right that I'm carrying the ball 30 times a game and the white boy is getting paid double. His ass is on the bench. And you want me to run, as he told me, everyone plays, the dude's tall, they're trying to take his knees out, and he tell them, yeah, run right up the middle. So no, I ain't run up the middle. I'm going to run on the outside. Why? Ain't nobody out there. Well, the white man won't like a nigga that thinks for himself. So I'll think for myself, and I put it in videos. And they, whoever they are, they delete them. But I know that that's why I got like, it doesn't matter. Because how do I get paid? By the time they delete the video, I've already got paid. Thank you. Everything I do, I save it myself. So I wanted to put it back out there, I could. But why would I do that? That's just wasting time. That's wasting energy. That's wasting money. Your job, brothers and sisters, is to really understand what I'm about to say. There's a system in place right now that is not designed for you to prosper. It's organized or a systematic racism. You can call it whatever. The shit doesn't, it didn't originate here. It came from, there's racism in the galactic atmosphere. We'll put it that way. So you got to get some teaching so that way you can get some thinking. That way you get some training. So that way you can start talking. That way you can start telling your story about your talent with some tenacity within the time frame that you're here. If you don't understand that those 7 T's must be frequent and intense, please go work for the white man. And bite your tongue. Don't do shit that will make you stand out. Just get along to get along. Be like my boy on Django. Master, if we sick today, it's okay. You living in the house, you paying your bills, you take care of your insurance. Ain't no shame in your game. Ain't nothing wrong, brothers and sisters, if you are fly. Ain't nothing wrong with eating shit. But don't get pissed off at the bee because he eat honey. That's all I'm saying. You get to choose whether you want to be a fly or if you want to be a bee. You get to choose. So, remember, don't get pissed off when you see the bee humming around because bumblebees, by physics, they can't fly. The wings is too small, their body is too heavy. But thankfully, guess what the bumblebee does? Well, the bumblebee got his own freaking thinking. The bumblebee is frequent, his wings flap more frequently than other animals. The bumblebee's wings are way more intense than other animals. The bumblebee's thinking is way more intense. That's why the bumblebee can fly. And the bumblebee says, fuck physics. I'm operating in the spirit. So the bumblebee operates on a higher law. You can too. Today, all you got to do is create a system. Okay, Doc, you said that already. But you didn't tell me how to create a system. Okay, but boy, I got you. Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to document. Okay, Doc, this sounds good. What do I document, my brother? Well, a system is just what I do. So I got at least, 3,000 systems? What is a system? A system is when I look at, I got on the treadmill. I started noticing when I was young that I had more energy and I had more, my brain worked differently than my brothers and sisters when I was a little kid. And I went outside. I was never inside when I was a kid. I was always outside. And I always had no shirt on and I never had no shoes on. I would just run around like a little African. My mom would say, boy, get your ass in there and put some shoes on. And I loved eating food. So every time you saw me, I looked like a little Ethiopian kid walking around because my grandfather, Big Daddy, always grew shit. So I would help him chop rolls, no shirt, no shoes, and I would get a hoe, and we'd be out there chopping rolls, and my grandfather would come behind me and he would plant. And he would, I would say, Daddy, when the plants out, he would say, I just want a watermelon. He said, yeah, boy. When it grows, you can get it. I used to eat corn while it was still on the stalk. I would just peel it and bite it. Me and my grandfather. I just ate raw shit. I remember I thought it was poor because everybody else was laughing at me because I had me down clothes, had no shoes on, no shirt. That was a well that you could pump the water and the water came straight out of the ground. It was ice cold and it's 110 degrees in Texas in August. The only thing I couldn't do was the animal stuff. My grandmother said, boy, go out there and catch that chicken. My grandmother would grab the chicken and just wring its neck and it just pop and the chicken just run around with no head. And to me, that just fucked me up. I didn't understand it. As a kid, so I was like, I wanted to protect the animals. Still do. That's why I watch nature flicks all the time. The reason I'm telling you that story is because my brain was wired differently than my brothers and sisters. But I thought, and they told me that, Negro, you slow. Or you special. Or you got some mental problems, because I was more intense. Nobody wanted to fight me, even though I was little, because they knew that I didn't fight fair. They would say, man, boy, I'll fight you, you're just going to fight. You're going to fight fair. I said, what the fuck is that? You fight to win. I fight to win. So I had bricks, sticks, bats, bottles. I was knocking niggas out. But I was born that way, Dr. Martinet. That's how I came out the womb. So my intensity, I still got it. They're the same. Ain't shit changed. So now I put my intensity into systems. What is a system? I document it. Whatever it is, I can document it. In other words, what happens when I get into a conflict? Can I put that on a piece of paper? That's just an example. So if I get into a conflict with somebody, I don't like conflict. That's why I hate to get into a conflict. I hate to get into a verbal. I try to de-escalate it as much as possible. Because there's just a certain button. And once it's pushed, then I can't unpush it. Then when it pops off, everybody else is like, well, okay, you got me to this level now. So I don't want to okay no more. I just want to end. Somebody's life has to end. That's the way my brain thinks. So I know that about myself, so I put that into a system. When I first started, when I went to the military, I played football, I joined the Marine Corps boxing team, I did judo, I did Aikido. So I was a WSSI, I was a water safety survival instructor. Then I also was CPQ, what they call close combat instructor. Why? Because I like to fight. I was training people how to hurt people. Shit came easy to me. That's the system. So then I created another system. It was called the Eagles Club. Eagerly advancing guardian living and economics, scripturally and scientifically. I combined science and scripture to help people move forward. That was 25 years ago. That's a system. Well, what do? I document it. A system is a step-by-step. A system is picking your purpose, finding out what principles come from your purpose. So, a system, if you don't have this, stay on the plantation, keep working for the white man. Do not leave your day job if you don't have a system in place. The world only works on systems. Now, I gotta tell you something that could make you think of. It's called the TQM method. I've talked about this on many, many shows. And the guy's name was something Deming. Charles Deming, something like that. And he has his own management system. This is what was taught, as you guys know before. I've taught this on many, many shows, many, many times. TQM, Total Quality Management. Time Quality Management. When you understand TQM, I also went to school and got certified when I was in my real estate days in what they call Six Sigma. If you really want to fuck your brain up, we can research that. And so first I learned TQM, Total Quality Management. That's based upon principles. So this is the foundation, if you will, that I took from I'm going to use the word dominant culture when I created my systems. Because I realized that the world we live in is controlled by principles that are based upon a purpose. So first of all, you got to find your purpose. Inside of your purpose is your principles. Now, I've already did this for everybody. You guys remember when we did the Master Teacher 33 Business School and I went through your 12 numbers on your Dignity Report? And your 12 numbers, they give you the 12 statements, all business, if you go to Google, on your favorite search engine and type in how to write a business plan. Remember, those are your principles. So I have 12 core principles. What are they? 3, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 4, 9. Those are my 12 core principles. So I just can't make shit up. But the dominant culture says, find an idea, start a business, just make it the fuck up. Well, that's why it fails. Why? You don't love it more than it loves you. That's why you get tired. So it takes, if you create a system that's not your system, you got to put the energy into the system. My system put energy into me. I don't put no energy into it. So what I'm doing right now, I'm not putting energy in. I'm getting energy. So the more I talk, the more energy I get. Why? Because talking loves me. I don't love it. I just talk because it comes easy. I'm a 336. Then my next number, so 3 was a creative communicator. 1, 2, 3, independent leader. 2, psychic and peaceful. 3, creative. Then I got 1, 2, 3 again. Then I got 5. What's 5? Assertive freedom. 4, stability, hardworking. 9, royalty, humanitarian, high well thinking. Those are my principles. So each principle has 12 principles. And then those 12 have 12. Those 12 have 12 to infinity and beyond. We could fucking go on for fucking ever. Because you are eternal. But you got one problem. You don't know yourself. How do I know? Because you spend time talking to and talking about someone else. And it's just like, ooh, that came in? Oh, nice. I didn't know you ordered that. Ooh. Package came in, y'all. That the wife ain't got me for a birthday exercise puzzle mat. Oh, okay, it's for the floor. So in the garage. Like the little rubber pad that goes over the cement, so that way when I'm lifting weights in the garage. Nice. Okay, back to systems. So does everybody have one of these? Oh, you don't? Oh, snap. So let me get this right. You don't have a go-to. Like basketball players, football players, everybody have a go-to move. So when the shit is the fan, what is your go-to move? What does that mean? That means, let's go back to, let's see, like Sister Amika, right? So Sister Amika is the newest member of the Life Management System. And her numbers, the first 6 principles are exactly like mine. And almost like Dr. Martinet. I'm not Dr. Martinet, Dr. Span. So I'm a 336, 1, 2, 3. Sister Amika is a 336, 1, 2, 3. But then her next 3 numbers are 101. Oh, shit. So if I talk to Sister Amika, I have to be very careful. Otherwise, we're going to bump heads. Why? Sister Amika is a 101. That's her soul. Her mind, will, emotions, imagination, intellect thinks like that. I'm a 1, 2, 3. So my soul is an independent leader that loves peace and harmony that comes from hanging out by myself. Then I creatively, that's a 3, express, expose, and expand it independently. That's why I like creating shit on my own. That's why I'm not a groupie. No disrespect. But Sister Mika is a 101. So that means not only is she independent, but very verbally expressive and single-minded. Very focused and self-determined. But then the next number is 0. That's the number that is behind all numbers. That is unlimited power, unlimited potential. That's God. Super consciousness. So she's a super conscious, independent leader. So what if she get with a beta male? Which, I don't know. So the mixer? Who's your man? How many men you got? Okay, I'm just saying. So if Sister Mika doesn't get alpha male, she's going to run right over that. Why? She's an independent leader. They got unlimited power that thinks on a super conscious level because of that zero. And then on the next three numbers, where I have a 5, 4, and 9, she has a 2, 0, zero again, 2. Oh, that's even more old shit. Why? Well, 2 is the number of psychic in the psychic power. So that means she's an unlimited. That means there's no limit. That means her brain can go to places where other people's brain can't. So her tuition has been paid by God to go into the Crystal Cathedral, figure out shit, and then come back and share it. But the 2 is very sensitive. So if Sister Mika is not careful, that sensitivity turns into hyper sensitivity. Because the number 2 means inward creator. So without even talking to Sister Mika, I already know where her problems are coming from. Because of the number of 2s that she has and the number of 3s. So there's 3 numbers that are mentioned 3 times. So her principles. So if you don't know your principles, you're in trouble. Because your process. Remember, a system is a documented process. So it does Sister Amika no good if she knows the process. That shit documented. They fucking written it down so I can read it. So I know a lot of people that know a lot of shit, but they ain't wrote shit. Why? Why do I write? Well, R-I-T-E. That's why I write. Fucking ritual, bruh. That's how you bring the invisible realm into this mother. You don't write shit down. Take her back a tutu. Take the vision. Write it down. Sits in the Bible too. So we got one conundrum. Y'all ain't writing shit. That's why you can't show up to this show. That's why I said, see, because my intensity, because remember, my income's going up. Money is just a direct indication of spirituality. Oh, okay. Alrighty. So money, this is why I love talking about money. This is why Christians don't like talking about money. Because like themselves, money, you should have a documented. Money is a documented purpose, principle, process. That's money. So on my wall that I look at every day, that I'm looking at right now, I have it written down, the shit documented. Why would I do that? Well, I understand what a ritual is. I understand how the universe works. I understand how to take the invisible shit and make it visible. The word became flesh, and that must have walked around. So your words can't become flesh. Because you have written them down. Not you personally, of course, but people you know. Now, that's number 1. Documented purpose, principle, and process. That's a system. So, going back to Sister Amika, not to pick on Sister Amika today. I'm going to pick on you today, Sister Amika. Guess I should have asked you up front. Is that okay? Too late now. So Sister Amika has 1, 2, 3, 1. She has the number 2 3 times. She has the number 3 3 times. So what is the most dominant number in her chart? If I have to narrow it down, and say, Sister Amika, this is you. This is what you should do today, tomorrow, and every fucking day you wake up. She's an independent psychic creator. Because the number 1 is mentioned 3 times. God says something 3 times, that means the shit might be important. The number 2 is mentioned 3 times. The number 3 is mentioned 3 times. The number 0 is mentioned 2 times. Then the number 6 is mentioned once. So God put himself inside of a female body to express those particular attributes and characteristics. But we want to do something else. That's slavery. That's poverty. Poverty means you fucking ignoring yourself while you're trying to be somebody else. That's why it's difficult to listen to a high vibrational much like me. Why? I talk about the same thing every fucking day. And you get tired of hearing the same shit. And you get tired of hearing the F-bombs. And you get tired of this and another because TD Jakes don't curse. Because of understanding the reason of cursing. Just like the reason of doing anything that is perceived as negative. Why? What is the perception? Like I had. That's the only reason why I drop F-bombs. I drop F-bombs because I have to remove the curse. What is the curse? The curse is a belief in your head that says cursing is fucked up. Who said it's fucked up? Somebody said it first. Who said it first? Though, did you say it? Did you come up with cursing? No, you did not. The shit was here when you was born. So what does that mean? Give it back to that motherfucker who made it. And then you determine the definition for it now. So now I neutered the white man's power. If we want to use that term. White man. It's not really the white man. It's Lucifer. But it's not really Lucifer. It's sigils. Sigils are shapes that emit frequencies. Now, I could go through every shape on all of the platonic solids. It would fuck your brain up for a little while. Then after that, you'd be TQ imminent, total quality management. Then you'd be ready for they should call it Six Sigma. Now, Six Sigma, total quality management, and Six Sigma is the way by which the dominant culture is it's really operations management. So if you're part of any major company, you've heard of it, but still may not know what it was. It's just how the dominant culture keep your black ass a slave. I mean, not you personally, but you know. So it is data-driven processing. It's a cyclical system that controls by defining. You might want to write this down. Defining. Why defining first? Number one, define. Number two, measure. Number three, analyze. Number four, improve. Number five, control. That's why you're on the plantation. Mental plantation. I don't know no myth that's not mentally controlled. Why? The definition was given to you by the dominant culture, bruh. You didn't write your shit yourself. Your religion was given to you by the dominant culture, bruh. You didn't come up with your own God. Did you create your own God? Did you create your own language? Did you create your own alphabet? Did you create your own color scheme? Did you define your own orange, apples? Fuck no. You just took that. The white man says it's a tree. You said, oh, it's a tree. How the fuck do you know it's a tree? How do you know where you at? Who told you this is Earth? How do you know you're on Earth? Where do you think you at? You think you on a spinning ball in fucking space? Flying around in two countries because you read that shit in the book? How do you know you're you? Who told you you was you? Y'all can start asking questions, man. How do you think I got in the box? Just like in the movie Free Guy. The movie Free Guy is an algorithm. It was a computer program that developed its own consciousness. Who are you again? You might want to watch the movie Avatar again. Hollywood is trying to tell you, man, that God is putting this shit in plain sight. And he says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Remember, the devil can't do nothing to you until he advertises. And see, as I said yesterday, any thought that is not challenged becomes your belief. Damn. Woo, God help us. Let me say this again. So you had a thought this morning, right? It came into your head. Like, shit, how am I going to do that? And you didn't challenge it. It just came in and you said, shit, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. Or I don't know how I'm going to do this. It just came into your head because, you know, like, a bill's coming due, the kids is acting up, you know, something going on positively and negatively. But a thought that is left unchallenged is an implant or an embedded from the silent sound spread spectrum. That's another study for another time. The point of today's message is you have to self-replicate. What does that mean, Doc? After you document your purpose, your principles, and your process, remember that 7 T's, you just went on the first 3. Because after you find your purpose, your principles, and your process, you should produce a product. How many products you got? Everybody knows how many products you got that are purpose-based. As I said yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, you got one product. You wake up every morning, you never have a thought about production, ever. Not you personally, but, you know, I remember you got a lot of thoughts, you do a lot of good things, you're high vibration, want to keep it on. I mean, shit. You're a god and a goddess. Unfortunately, you're not doing purpose-based production. Unfortunately. How do I know? Because if you were doing purpose-based production, then your thinking would be so fucking intense that you would piss off everybody that's not on your wavelength. That means everywhere you go, like Jesus went, and like Smith Wigglesworth, y'all remember Smith Wigglesworth, right? The fool that said he would get on a bus and people would get out and say, man, what the fuck what's wrong with you, man? Why the fuck you looking at me? People would, everywhere he went, he just pissed off everybody. Why? His frequency. His biofield. That's what we talk about tomorrow. The biofield is that fucking up the world. Your biofield, you should go to Walmart and they should come up to you and ask you, could you please leave? Maybe not that extreme, but what are you saying, Doc? Well, I'm saying that everywhere you go, you should glow. What does that mean? When you walk into a room, ladies especially, all men should stop. Look at their wives, then look at you. Now, hopefully they're smart enough not to do it when their wife is watching them. But your energy, your biofield, not your body. Now, I like big chi-chis and big donkey donks too. However, boo-boo, we spirit. When them titties start to sag, your biofield will not experience any lag. When you 80, 90, 100, you still walk into Walmart, set it the fuck down. Why? You're cheap. That's how you be. So we got a conundrum. That's the reason for the class. Your biofield, the photon, plasmonic being that you are, you're not articulating and communicating your story. That's the only reason why you're not experiencing God's glory. The biofield energy management and manifestation. This is how you package your unconscious knowledge into a step-by-step system that it talks about in Jeremiah 29, verse 16. Your cistern cannot hold water. You're made up of water. So, unfortunately, depending on who you talk to, your key is off. So people like your tribe, they're not attracted to your vibe because you're vibing with the wrong tribe. Now you got your little congregation, right? But it's conjugation. So you got your little this is the physics of bliss. This is the physics of heart. This is Dan Winner's understanding of physics, of the joy of heaven downloaded into the biological field of a man. So that means you have what we call moods and attitudes. One day you wake up, you piss the fuck off. The next day you wake up, you giddy like a little third grader. The next day you don't even wake up. You ain't got it bad. You depressed. Then the next day you are at the store, or you hanging out with the fellows at the basketball court playing basketball all day. None of that shit produces income though. None of that. Now what is income? You go in and you come. CUM. That's income. Let me say it again, and I know we're all adults here, okay? So income is income. Now, men, you know a little bit about that. You should. This may be new to some of y'all fellas. But men, I don't know. Y'all tell me, how do you CUM, men? Is there any men on the call? What is it? Y'all know? So last I checked, I'm not well versed in these areas. But last I checked, I was speaking to somebody who was more qualified than me to speak on what makes a man CUM or swim. Well, there's something called excitement. Usually the Negro got to get animated. It's called a resurrection or an erection. Last I checked. Now, before you disconnect, I got a point. See, animation. Number one, systems create animation. We call it automation. Now, the Bible says that spirit. There's 45 names for that shit that we'll be breaking down tomorrow. 45. Now, you only know one or two. You only know Spirit, Holy Ghost, Elohim, Eloah, El Saldon, Shekinah. We all just, we all just regular folk. We just Christians. We don't know about this other shit. It wasn't taught to us, so it's not our fault. But all of that is animation, bro. The spirit means the animating principle. So, men, the principle must be animated before you can see you out. So that's an ejaculation. Why does that happen, though, man? I don't understand. So can I just have an ejaculation while I'm watching cartoons? What about when I'm at the mall? What about if I go to a Kevin Hart concert and I'm sitting on the front row laughing? Do I have an ejaculation then? No. Well, why not? Well, no focus. There's no feeling, so there's no field. Because the field creates what is real. But the field comes from a feeling, but the feeling comes from focus. So when something happens when you look at something, or something happens when some part of the anatomy is stimulated, well, you got to do the same thing in business. So you wake up every morning and you're not stimulating nobody's anatomy? So let me get this right. You want frequencies, waves, and vibrations, money to come to you, but you ain't got no system. You have nothing that is animating. And then number three, you have nothing that you can duplicate. So I can duplicate the thing that creates the animate. So that way I can document. So we're going to break down the implementation of those three steps starting tomorrow, because that creates the biofield. But all of this comes from frequent intense teaching, which is what I've been doing for 20 years. And will continue. Why? Because I'm a high vibrational. Let's keep it up. What does that mean? That just simply means I love you more than you do. Now you can say, no, Doc, that's not true. Well, I am a cheerful giver. Now remember we broke that down already. The word cheerful means you got a big ass fucking head. That's what it means. It means full head. Little head. And the big head. Now men, when you get an erection, your head gets bigger. At least mine does. I don't know what y'all working with. I can't speak for other Negroes. But all I know, the average male during the sexual act, the genitalia increases in size. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't. This is a little bit above my pay grade. I'm just sharing what I read for the show. I don't really have personal experience. I'm just okay, y'all know I'm just playing. I can't speak for other Negroes. I don't know how other Negroes' plumbing work. I know how mine works. For the spirit realm, money is no fucking different. But you tell me, if you hate money, that means you hate fucking. Now, I don't know where y'all from. There's some of y'all may have took a vow of celibacy. That's cool. I admire that. Do you, boo? But we all grown folks, so I don't have to talk in circles. So we've been lambasted because you can't duplicate it, nor can you delegate it. What? Your system. I can. So I make money while I sleep. I've been Sister Cheryl West is sharing my information. So when somebody calls and want to join the life management system, whether it's today or 5 years from now, I'm going to ask them, how'd you hear about it? They're going to say, I had a friend of mine, Sister Cheryl West, she was sharing your shit on Facebook and I saw it. And I was like, what the hell is this? I watched the video. I didn't think too much of it at that time. And then Sister Cheryl West will have a bill that's due. And she's going to tell the Big G, man, Big G, I got this bill that's due $499. But you know what? All things work for my good. I know that this bill's going to get paid. I may not know how, but I know that it is. So Sister Cheryl is just going to keep her faith, her belief in the fact that all things work together for her good. The person joins the life management system, pays me $1,000. I contact Sister Cheryl. Hey, Sister Cheryl, do you remember, your cousin, Pookie? She said, yeah, I know that Negro. Well, he just joined the life management system. Do you want to take this $499 off the next class, or do you want me to send you some cash? She said, man, send me my paper, Doc. I need my paper, bro. And she gonna say, damn, you have no idea. I was just thinking this morning, how the fuck am I gonna pay my bill? Because it's $499, and bam, look what happened. Won't he do it? Damn straight. He's been doing it for me for 25 years, non-stop. See, the universe, source, the Big G, give. That means keep your head full of what, Doc? God. What is God, Doc? Well, you're not no TD Jakes God. God is a generator, an operator, and a director. That means your head should be full. God loves Negroes with big heads and Negroettes. That would be you, ladies. What that mean, though? That means that when you have an erection, that mother, the reason that it gets bigger is full of blood. That's why the head is bigger during the sexual act until something comes out. We call that CUM. That's how you swim. You are releasing your chi and your energy. So you cannot be Johnny Appleseed. You should direct that mother. You just can't be spreading seed all over the place. That's wasted chi. That's wasted prana. That's wasted. You need to direct that mother at a specific purpose, destiny, or destiny. They call that sex magic. That's the witches call it. That's why Christians don't know fuck about it. You can't teach this shit at Ebenezer Baptist. Every nigga would have walked out already. So tomorrow we break down further how to direct your CUM, which is but your biofield, which is the electricity mechanism, which is sodium and potassium. That's inside of the body. What are you directing? Well, in order to produce a baby or to produce life, ladies, am I lying? Usually there's a physical act that precedes it. Now, I'm talking about this dominant culture shit where you can go get artificially inseminated and all this other shit. I'm talking about the way God originally set the plan up. A man and a woman would get together and engage in a sexual act. The man would release something called sperm into the woman's vagina, and then the sperm meets the egg. The egg selects the sperm. The sperm does not penetrate the egg. The egg is unpenetratable, ladies. Y'all don't know who the fuck y'all are. If you did, ladies, you would own the fucking world. Every woman on this call should be a billionaire. Most of y'all I've seen, I met in person. So I got one question, ladies. How come you're not a billionaire? I said, I know. Your egg selects the sperm that has the most potential. And then it yields, because it's too powerful. The number 0 is the egg. Like I was telling my sister Amika, she got 2 zeros in a fucking chart. 2. It's not possible for her to experience what you and I would call a issue. So, if, I don't know if she has one or not, but if she did or does have one, that's an indication of what? Of a lack of yielding to her potential, which is what? Her purpose. So it goes all the way back to self-acceptance. So Sister Amika and everybody on this call, we all need systems. So I would say to everybody on this call, the most important thing right now, before you delegate, you must duplicate. But unfortunately, most of us are duplicating poverty instead of duplicating prosperity. So the 3 steps, systems, automation, duplication, or delegation, we've got to reverse engineer it. So I want to duplicate something. That means I want to delegate. But how do I, and what do I duplicate? Well, what have I animated or automated? So animation and automation is either by self, by people, or by technology. Companies automate. They put everything on automatic pilot. Well, you can do the same thing, or you can do it yourself. So I want to duplicate. That's why people have sex more than once. Why? They want to duplicate. What are they trying to duplicate? This is the reason why I do shows more than once. They're frequent and they're intense. This is why I work out more than once. This is why I got more than one website. This is why I got more than one book. Because I did it once, I'm like, ooh, shit, that's good. It's like having sex. Your eyes roll back in your head. You're like, shit, that's good. Let's do that again. Why? Why do you want to do it again? Well, it animated my principles. So when you find something that animates your principle, right, men? Now, men, does every woman animate your principle? How come some women have more effect on your principle than others? Ladies, what about you, ladies? Does every man animate your principle? And if not, why not? That has to do with what? Purpose. What loves you more than you love it? What's attracted to you? That's purpose. So you must duplicate the animation that's based upon your documentation. Documentation is simply the awareness of the animating principle. What does documentation mean again? Documentation means that I have actually noticed why you make me animated. If I see a woman and it has an effect on my principle, if I wanted to create a system, what I would do is take out a pen and paper, pen, penis, paper, punani, and I would write C-U-M, calm. I would spill ink on paper. That's why that's why in Matthew 23, Jesus said, I don't like people who do this, don't know what the fuck they doing. Because you're going around and you, next thing you know, you like fucking Nick Cannon. You got 50 babies around here. Now, in his defense, at least he's in a position to take care of them all. But what I hear, supposedly you write old girl a check before they get knocked up. It's like almost like an arrangement. I don't know. But I'm saying at least he's not an irresponsible creator. So before you take a pen, that's why I must be responsible for every book that I wrote. Because only God can duplicate themselves. And then delegate, meaning that get other people to assist me with expressing myself. Only God can do that. Everybody on this call should do exactly what I do every day. When you wake up every day, the first thing that you should be doing, you should be duplicating and delegating. What? Your animation. So, what animates you? You should document it. How do you document it? You do a video. You write a book. You do a painting. You braid somebody's hair. You cook some food. You sew a garment. You dance. You freaking carve. You do like my boy Dr. Jerome. You work on somebody's car. Why? That solves a problem. In exchange, you receive something called currency. If you are able to document the step-by-step process that you are able to produce that currency, then you are able to delegate. Simply means that there's somebody else who wants to be a mechanic, just like Dr. Jerome. But they don't have a system that is documented, that they can sit down and that they can animate, learn, so that way they can duplicate. So if you can document, I can take your document, it can animate me, so that way I can duplicate what you documented. If you do that, you can never be broke, ever. Because once you create that documentation once, you get paid on that shit for the rest of your fucking life. Every day, there's a possibility. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, shit, like, so the show what? So the show got a book out and, you know, it's not a New York Times bestseller. So what does Cheryl West do now? She do the same thing. Take her document, talk, frequent, intense teaching, talking, telling about the talent that's inside of the book in a tenacity, or a very, for another word for tenacity, let's use the word expressive manner during the time that she's on earth. What happens? If it's frequently repeated with enough intensity, it will generate an emotional response. So my encouragement to Sister Cheryl West is the same encouragement to you. Because my system was so big, it took me a good 5 years to start generating a profit. If you just talk about one thing, it would take you a whole lot less than 5 years. Especially with the economy and the technology that we have today. So my brothers and my sisters, the class starts tomorrow. We get into the biology. So all of this week I've been talking about the theology. Tomorrow we get into not too much of it, but a lot of, because I can't talk about the biology part of it, you know, obviously on the internet, which is, I guess, good. So we just break down what the significance of the pineal gland is when it comes to documentation. The word documentation is short for the word doctor. It is in the Greek. That was a philosopher by not the Greek, the Egyptians. His name was Galen, G-A-L-E-N. He was his documentation along with Rene Descartes and then a couple other Greek dudes jumped on it, but it came out of Egypt. The word doctor and the word documentation. It means psychic pneuma. It means ethereal substance. It means first instrument of the soul. So tomorrow, and for the next 7 days, we have to break down the source of all thought for me. What I call the ethereal or the etheric substance that controls the biofield. And the biofield creates what is real. This is psychic pneuma. Again, the first instrument of the soul. The soul, the mind, the will, imagination, intellect. It's the ability to take over your animal instincts and replace them with the divine power. So you go from the 3 F's of fun, fighting, and effing to the 3 of faith, family, and finances. So I replace fun, fighting, and effing with faith, family, and finances. You can throw in a little F-bombs in there too, but, we got to keep it a little bit. We can't go too much X-rated. We don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Brothers and sisters, I love you. Appreciate you. Thank everybody so much for tuning in today. You guys already know I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. See y'all later on tonight. God bless.